It's Brad Talks, and I'm talking with David, the Bookkeeper, right?
That's right, the Bookkeeper.
The Bookkeeper. And I found out that Stuart Sherman gave you that name.
Yes, he did. I said there was a couple Davids in the group, and I said I needed to differentiate myself. Maybe I'll be David the Bookkeeper. He's like, no, you got to be the Bookkeeper.
The Bookkeeper. Okay,
so that's how it stuck.
Your whole full name, so people know who I'm actually talking
David
with.
Schuver.
And it's SCHUV.
UV as in Victor ER.
Not a B, but a V.
Correct.
Your entire life, you probably go through correcting people. It's not a B, it's a V, right?
Exactly. I'm used to it.
You're a bookkeeper. But let's go back. Little history. And you're a St. Louis guy?
Sure. Yes.
You know the question I'm going to ask.
I went to Parkway Central with Stuart.
Did you really?
Yeah. And so I went to Parkway Central.
Interesting. Now, isn't that so strange that, because, people from out of town, when they hear that, they go, okay, what's it with this high school thing in the St. Louis area where people ask me what a high school, I go, I think it's more of a socioeconomic kind of thing. Don't you think that's what it sort of is?
A little bit, kind of gauging where somebody came from in their background.
Right. Because I'm a North County guy, and people go like, oh, North County, I wouldn't drive there anymore. Hey, you know what? Once upon a time, it was a nice place to live. And I'm not saying it's not now either. Matter of fact, I go in North County all the time. I've got friends that still live in North County. I don't have any problems up there.
My son lives in North County.
Does he really?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's,
yeah.
But you know what? It's sort of interesting. I used to work as a police dispatcher, and the interesting thing about that is people talk about, oh, the neighborhood's not safe. Well, guess what? The criminals got cars, and they can go anywhere. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to stick to their own neighborhood.
That's right.
Okay. College, I
went to Mizzou. I studied business, finance, and graduated from there.
So now, do you have like a CPA degree, or you?
No, just finance.
Just finance.
So I'm not an accountant. I cannot file taxes.
You can't file taxes.
Right.
But you do bookkeeping. And you've done that for?
I've done it. I have another business that I still have that's been around for 30 some odd years. I've been doing the books for that business since then. And I started the bookkeeping company just last year.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, so you've always been a numbers guy?
Yes, always.
And when you were a kid, were you always, I'm just the opposite. My dad was a civil engineer, and I was never a numbers guy. Matter of fact, I was bad at math, but you enjoyed that then?
I did.
And did you take all the classes like trig and all that stuff?
Yeah, I took that in high school. Yeah.
You were a numbers guy. So the degree in finance, now were you always on your own? Did you have other jobs?
No, I had other jobs. I worked for Edward Jones for a little as an internship. I worked for Dun & Bradstreet, and then I went off on my own with my brother in that other business that we have. That basically we do product development. We're inventors, and we develop our own products and license them out to manufacturers.
Oh, whoa. Hold on a minute now. This is going in an interesting direction. I'm fascinated by that. What kind of products and things like that?
We did a musical shoe for kids.
A musical shoe?
Yeah, that was in all the Walmarts nationwide and in Canada.
Like a novelty kind of thing?
Exactly, a novelty. You've seen the lights that go off on the kids' shoes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, this was just music. You stomped down and it played music.
No kidding.
Yeah. So we did a lot of fun different projects.
Did you get a patent on that or something?
Yeah, we did. We had a patent on it.
Really?
We purchased a patent, and then we invented our own patent, too.
How long ago was that?
That was a good 26, 27 years ago.
Okay, so let me ask you a question, because I'm sort of fascinated by this. Yeah. Once upon a time, I almost had a patent. Don't ask me why one of my life goals was to have a patent.
Yeah.
And I almost had a patent because I did invent something, and the company I invented it for went bankrupt. And so they wouldn't release the patent to me, but the patent hadn't been issued yet, and I was going to have to pay out of my own pocket about $3,000 or $4,000 for the attorney to do the final patent, on it. But
sure.
The thing that I understand nowadays is, and tell me if I'm wrong or not, the Chinese, they don't care about patent law. If something comes along, matter of fact, I just saw something the other day that a guy was talking about the fact that he invented this and he's got a patent in the United States, and now the Chinese have ripped him off, and you can buy it on Amazon for a quarter of what he sells it for.
Right, I believe it.
Was that an issue with what you did?
No, it really wasn't with what we were doing at the time, but things have changed too.
So you bought this patent, and then essentially
we turned around and we licensed it to different shoe companies that would bring it to the mass retailers.
So you never really got into manufacturing. You were just
No.
like licensing guy.
We would own it and license it.
You ever watch Shark Tank?
I love it.
you
It's a
know
great
where I'm
show.
going with that. Mr. Wonderful is always talking about licensing.
Licensing.
That's his big thing. He doesn't want to touch anything.
Right.
He just wants to license it and get the royalties off it. So that's what you guys did.
That was our model, yeah.
Now, you did other things like that? What other kind of things?
Well, we did an insurance product that we tried to license out. We were not successful with that. Our big claim is we had a shopping cart patent that facilitated e-commerce in
Really?
2001, and we licensed that.
Man, you were way ahead of the curve.
Yeah, this was now it's commonplace, but back then it was innovative, and we ended up licensing it to a large company that I can't talk about.
Are you still involved in that, or
No, that was years ago. It was a one-time license fee that they paid us.
Now, is the license with patents? A lot of people don't know this. There's a period of time they're good for, and then they become essentially what, public domain?
Exactly.
So what's the time period?
I think it's 20 years after the filing date of the patent.
So anything that you did like in 2001, if it were still viable, it would be essentially gone right
Exactly. Yeah.
now. When you do this kind of stuff, is it tough finding these people that will ultimately license it from you?
It's a challenge. Everybody wants to see what you got, but by the time they need to write a check, they have to really be sold on it. Lately, we've been working on a soda can, resealable soda can or beer can, and so we're working with some of the manufacturers now on trying to get that to market.
And how is it different?
It's different in that it's all aluminum. You can turn it upside down, and it's completely sealable. It's the manufacturing process that's making it that makes it a little bit unique.
Did you see the Shark Tank episode with the guy who had the wine thing? Do you remember?
Yeah.
And that, remember, he was really arrogant and stuff
He
like that?
was, right? He was there twice and didn't get a deal.
Exactly. And I saw that in a couple of convenience stores. I saw it in a couple stores around the area, and then it disappeared. I mean, is that something that happens as well, too? Because he thought he had something that was going to revolutionize the world. And I thought to myself, okay, first off, I'm not a wine drinker. And second off, I'm going like, okay, I don't quite understand that. Because if I'm going to drink wine, I'm just going to buy the bottle.
Right.
Just swig it out of the bottle. I'm not going to buy it like his little, kind of
Cups.
things like that. Now, the thing you're talking about, why is this an innovation? Because of the fact that it's...
It could be the way he made it, the way he manufactured it.
No, I mean the one you're working on.
Oh, the one that we're working
Yeah.
on. It is. It has to do with the way that it's being manufactured.
And it's cost effective that way?
And it's cost effective, and it's doesn't add any, or at least not a significant amount of aluminum to the can.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I had a friend of mine that worked for AB, Anheuser-Busch, told me one time that the can costs more than the beer in it. Does that sound right?
It does sound right.
It's all about the packaging, right?
Yeah.
So are you actively doing that nowadays?
No, I'm not. My partner is my brother, and
Right.
he's actively involved with the business, and I'm still a partner with him.
But he's the guy making calls, and
Yeah.
do people pitch him on products and things like that?
Yeah, but we really don't do outside projects anymore. We've done them before where other people brought inventions to us, but we don't do that anymore. We
And-
like to control the whole process.
What invention that maybe somebody brought to you that you thought, I mean, the classic example, if you're a Shark Tank fan, the classic example is the Ring camera.
Right.
Remember, where they
Right.
shot that guy down, and now he sold it to Amazon for what? $5 billion or something like that. You ever saw something come to you, you go, and then it turned out to be big?
I don't know if it was the exact product or not, but somebody came with us with an electronic toothbrush, and that was before the electronic toothbrushes were really a hit. So I don't know if they're patent covered. I don't recall if they're patent covered everything, but that was one that definitely we felt like, oh, maybe we should have gotten involved with that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And did you ever follow up on what happened to it?
No.
Now, as far as your current bookkeeping, like I said, you do bookkeeping for Stuart Sherman, who was your buddy. You went to high school with him.
Yeah.
He told me an interesting story that his house where he used to live is gone. Do you know that about his house?
Sure, they tore it down.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. When they expanded 141, where he lived, they tore his house down. I'm thinking to
Right.
myself, God, that is so weird. Because when I did the interview with him, he talked about the fact he went back and most of the property was gone, but there's still a couple of bushes left over he remembered from it. So did you go to Mizzou with him then? Because I know he went to Mizzou.
I did. He didn't go the whole time, but yeah, I did go with him.
Now,
So.
do you being a West County guy, is that still stomping grounds for you? You still live out in West County?
I live actually kind of the Creve Coeur, Maryland Heights area now.
And I knew you were in my St. Charles County. You're in the Friday networking group, which is mostly
Correct.
St. Charles County people. Tell me what you think of what's happened to St. Charles County.
You know what? I don't know enough about St. Charles County to be able to make an assessment like that. I don't live out there. I don't work out there. I'm only been out there the last year because of the Friday networking group.
Cool. Well, I was just curious because of the fact that I moved out there in '84, and to me, it's just amazing what's happened in St. Charles County.
Well, I've witnessed the growth. If that's what you're talking about.
Oh,
yeah, for sure. That's crazy. And it used to seem like a long distance to go there, and now it's nothing. It's 15
I remember
minutes.
a guy I worked with years ago. This is probably 30 years ago, 35 years ago. Bought a house in Lake St. Louis. We all went, Lake St. Louis? Do you have to pack like a knapsack? take a break on the way out there? And now it's to the point where like people live in Wentzville. Now it's going even to the point where they're in Forestell and into Warren County and like Wright City and places like that.
Right.
Now, probably when you grew up, where you grew up in West County, that was way the hell out there, right?
It was. We were in Chesterfield.
Right. And
Yeah.
now you got Wildwood. You've already got all the way out to the on one part it goes out to the Jefferson County line, the other part goes out to the Franklin County line. So you're close in now, right?
Yeah, I'm central. I feel like it's pretty central for the city.
Now, clients that you have as bookkeeping clients, any specific area you focus in?
I tend to have a lot of small doctor's offices that I support, and those are chiropractors, psychiatrists, dental offices. So I've been doing that. I just started getting into nonprofit work, so I'm looking forward to working with more nonprofits.
Are the doctors, you mentioned the doctors, especially like there's this whole thing with what is it, the private equity companies coming in and scooping up all the different, I know they bought a bunch of veterinary practices. Is that
Right.
something that's going on in that field as well too, with chiropractors and you mentioned what was the other kind of doctors? Psychiatrists and things like that?
Right. I haven't seen it so much. Well, chiropractors, yeah, definitely they're getting bought up in different groups. Psychiatry, I haven't seen that as much, at least not with my clients.
And that's bad for you, right? As far as business
Right,
is
because
concerned. They get bought up by a private equity and they got their own bookkeeping people and away you go, right?
Right, that's right.
Tough dealing with them? I mean, because one of my family members managed doctor's practices for a long time, and she used to always tell me doctors were the worst at finances. Is that true?
That's not necessarily true. I think that's just kind of more anecdotal. But I actually have found that the ones that really need my help and appreciate my help have been really supportive in working together.
I was one of the guys that went online bookkeeping, not online, but computer bookkeeping. Should I even admit this? Back like in the 80s. I mean, to the point where I had a system that at the time was like the number one system in the country, and then along came the big dog. You know what I'm talking about? QuickBooks.
Yeah.
QuickBooks, and then before that it was the regular version of it wasn't QuickBooks, it was a
Quicken,
yes.
yeah.
And people started out with they moved from Quicken, at least a lot of business, and I did the same thing.
Sure.
I moved from Quicken to QuickBooks. Is QuickBooks still the big dog?
It is. About 80% of small businesses use QuickBooks.
And that's what you're doing as well too?
Yeah, I'm certified in QuickBooks.
And to the point where, and now it's all online to the point where you don't even buy the software to load in a computer anymore. It's all
remote. I just log in. I can pull down any of my clients from anywhere. I have clients all across the country
Really?
that I work with. Yeah.
So they will input things into their computer at their office and things like that, and then you can pull them up and do the reports and do the filings and things like that?
Yes. Yep.
But you said you don't do taxes, but you do like quarterlies and things like that?
Yeah, I do quarterly reports. I do monthly reports, and then I do usually a quarterly review with my clients, and so we can go over the numbers and look to see how they're doing from last year, from the previous period.
David the Bookkeeper. Spell your last name again.
Schuver.
We've talked for almost 15 minutes now. Contact information if people want to get a hold of you?
BookkeepingSTL.com and 314-680-7768.
David, I appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate your help.